President of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin, dear heads of delegations, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, I welcome you to this solemn reception in honor of Victory Day. I am sincerely pleased to celebrate this holiday with my friends and reliable partners. It is well known that the people of the Soviet Union have made a significant contribution to the defeat of Nazism. At the same time, we have never shared this grand victory for our own and for someone else's. Therefore, we take into account the contribution of all the warriors of the anti-Hitler coalition, the participants of the resistance, the guerrillas, the underground fighters. We will always keep the memory of our military alliance, of our brotherhood in arms. People of different ages and nationalities, men and women, the elderly and the young, carried out the test of faith in the triumph of justice, in the right of nations to sovereignty and independence, and of course the love for the fatherland. These feelings are still a spiritual and moral guide for us today. Our peoples share a sincere attitude to the common history, a memory of those who fought for the freedom of their country and all of humanity, a responsibility for preserving the truth about the Great Patriotic War, about the Second World War. But for the future generations to know firmly that love for the fatherland and solidarity of peoples in the fight for peace and equality is a powerful, all-conquering force, it is important to strictly prevent attempts to falsify the events of the Second World War, the heroization of the Nazis and the collaborators. The unbearable suffering and deaths of millions of civilians are on their conscience. It is our duty not to allow the justification of the genocide of the citizens of the USSR and other villains of the Nazi criminals. They are definitely convicted by the Nuremberg Tribunal and do not have a term. This year marks the 85th anniversary of the Nazi attack on the Soviet Union. On this date, there is grief for the millions of victims and a reminder of the terrible consequences of blind faith in one's superiority, racism, xenophobia, and the refusal of other peoples to the right to self-determination. I am convinced that today's more just, multi-layered architecture should rely on the norms of the UN Charter. In all their totality and fullness, it is their right to proceed from the principle of equal and indivisible security, to take into account the cultural and civilizational diversity of the peoples of the planet, and to determine their fate themselves. They should follow the traditions and customs of their ancestors. They bequeath to us all to protect and defend the world. Let me propose a toast to the generation of winners, to the triumph of truth and justice, to the friendship and prosperity of countries and peoples. Happy holiday to you, dear friends. Happy Victory Day.